When you open your eyes, it is such an irony, is it not? To wake up every day in pursuit of an American dream. You groom, you put on your costume, you caffeinate, and you commute through an ocean of tired commuters just like you, to that strange place that commands about half of your waking life for an average of 5 days a week. And for some reason, you wholeheartedly believe that it's all worth it, because you're convinced that your first world way of life is probably as good as it can get. But what if I told you that you actually have less work-life balance than a medieval peasant did in the 13th century? Would you believe that? Well, believe it or not, it is entirely and unfortunately true. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it would be worth it to swap places with the workforce of that era. Oh Lord, just imagine them trying to adapt to your modern environment.
Wi-Fi? Zoom calls? They'll burn me at the stake for shit like this.
Morning, scallywag. Fancy 2 shillings for a shag?
Without a doubt, the past and future are exactly where they need to be, away from each other. And let's not pretend that you would thrive back in the Middle Ages either.
I was wondering, where do I submit my PTO request?
Oh, still skeptical about whether 13th century peasants had a better work-life balance than you? Well, let's calculate, shall we? Okay, first of all, today's typical employee has between 240 and 260 workdays per year, about 2,600 hours worth, while the peasants of the distant past worked about 120 to 150 days, which was about 1,600 hours per year. Significantly less. Let's also not forget to account for the fact that the typical employee of today had to run on an academic hamster wheel leading up to their job, essentially getting conditioned from kindergarten through high school, being taught to be obedient, and forced to memorize and regurgitate information that they neither retain or apply to their professions afterwards.
And that is how algebra applies to marketing.
You've got K through 12, then college, for at least 4 more years, all including additional hours of homework and study, totaling out at well over 21,000 hours of institutional time, a pre-job, if you will, over the span of almost 2 decades. Now, compare that to the annual schedule of the 13th century peasant. Their yearly schedule had 80 to 100 days of feasts and festivals, days of worship, and seasonal downtime in the winters. Another factor to account for is the modern worker's commute.
Oh, come on!
Which is an average of 27 minutes per trip. Another 240 to 260 hours per year to add to your miserable tally. While the workers of old lived closer to their place of work, often living on the very land they tended to. Look at yourself for bloody sakes. You work constantly, with little time to recuperate. And the plan is for you to do so until 65, while the average lifespan is 76. The time was spent, and now so are you. Looks like those wenches and vagabonds had it figured out after all, because they had rest and relaxation woven into the entirety of one's life, not backloaded towards the end of it. And sure, you have health benefits, with dental coverage, but they had other things worth smiling about. And you get to relieve yourself on a porcelain throne, while they had to cop a squat amongst the trees. And while their food looked the same going in as it did going out, your lunch is microwaved until it mutates on a cellular level 5 days a week. But anyway, I would be remiss to not point out that the people of the Middle Ages seldom lived beyond middle age. And even though people today have almost twice the lifespan on average, I encourage you to remind yourself that the workers of the Middle Ages may have died younger, but the workers of today die longer.
Hey, trust me, I personally have this exact life insurance policy for myself.